We're now going to talk about Unit 7, Lesson 1. And because this is the first lesson in a new unit, we're going to talk about our big picture, our UBD, our simplified skill, and our scope and sequence. So let's begin by looking at the big picture. As you'll see here, Unit 7, which is dividing fractions, is found in the second 9 weeks. If we scroll on down, we'll see that the area highlighted in yellow here is our Unit 7. We're going to be looking at and training today division of a fraction by a fraction using visual models. And you can see that starts towards the end of week 6 in the first 9 weeks. Let's look now at our UBD, which we know is made up of our goals, meaning, and acquisition. Our goals are just simply the Alabama course of study listed. Our meaning has the understandings, which is what students will understand with this unit, and then essential questions that you can ask throughout the unit. Your acquisition has the students' knowledge, what they will know by the end of this unit, and then what skills they will acquire after this unit. So pause the video and take just a moment and read through your UBD so you have a better understanding of where we're going. We're now going to look at our simplified skill or cover page. At the top, you will see Math 6, Unit 7, Division with Fractions. Notice this is 7 days of instruction plus assessment time for a total of 8 days. Below that, you find the vocabulary that the students will acquire throughout this unit. And then we move on to our concept checklist. Again, we have our 4s, and those are our exemplary students, the ones that know the material well enough that they could turn around and teach someone else. Then we have our proficients, our 3s, which can do it on their own. We also have our 2s. These are the students that still need some hints to get the concept mastered. And then we have our 1s who just aren't there yet. We're looking here at day 1. This is our division of fraction by fraction using visual models. You find your course of study listed underneath there, and then your kid-friendly I can statement. For this lesson, I can visual models such as fraction bars and number lines to show the division of a fraction by a fraction. So let's look specifically at this scope and sequence. Here is the first page, the first scope and sequence of the unit. Also having 7 days of instruction plus assessment time, 8 days on this document as well. And then you have your unit note. It says, in grade 5, students gained a conceptual understanding of dividing a whole number by a unit fraction, as well as dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. In grade 6, students will be introduced to dividing a whole number by a fraction, as well as dividing a fraction by a fraction. Many opportunities with manipulatives, area models, and number lines should be provided before introducing the rule invert and multiply, or as we like to call it, keep, change, flip. It is best if students see this pattern through their own discovery. One of the key concepts that should be reinforced in this unit is when looking at a problem such as 3/4 divided by 1/2, the students should think of this as how many groups of 1/2 fit into 3/4. So really try to avoid using the keep, flip, change as long as they will allow you to. Lesson 1, you'll see here, is division of fraction by fraction using visual models. Can be a half day to 1 day. Your Alabama course of studies listed there, and then your teacher note, which keep in mind your teacher note is specific to the lesson, unlike the unit note, which covers the whole entire unit. Our teacher note says students use fraction bars and number lines to show the division of fractions by fractions. In 5th grade, students learn to divide fractions by a whole number. The teacher should assess the students prior to the lesson on this skill. And that's one of the prerequisites that you find down here at the bottom. Again, please use your bell ringers or your exit slips as a good way to monitor and assess their prior knowledge. Then you find your materials needed, as well as additional support and resources. Next, we have our presentation strategy, and it tells you step by step what to do with this lesson as you begin. So take just a moment once this video ends and read through your presentation strategy.